All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Whoops. Thank you for joining us. This is Shawn here at Zycel, and today it's just a very quick webinar. We've recently launched some new SOHO access points, and I thought it'd be a good idea to have a webinar just for anybody that's interested in those to maybe learn a little bit more about them. So it's going to be a very quick presentation today, but as we do go through, if you have any questions, do send them in using the chat or the Q&A, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. So we'll go ahead and get started. So these new access points are the NWA 50BE, the 50BE Pro, the NWA 90BE, and the NWA 90BE Pro. So the 50 and 90 series are our SOHO oriented access points. The 50 series more aimed at the home user, where the 90 are more aimed at the home office or small office type space. And so we've been offering these for a couple years now in Wi-Fi 6 flavors. And so now we are launching the Wi-Fi 7 flavors. I believe the 50 series is currently something you can order through our distribution partners, and the 90 should be available first week of November or roughly around that time. So just around the corner. So let's go ahead and talk about them. The 50 and the 90 BE are basically the same hardware. The difference is going to be on the software side of things. So both of these are what we call a BE 5100 class product. So they operate as a dual radio, dual band, operating on 2.4 and 5 gigahertz using Wi-Fi 7. So in theory, you've got, wireless to wireless communication speeds of up to 5.1 gigabits per second. Next up here, and then you can see here they both have the same type of port. They both have an uplink port, and they provide power via DC, so they can be AC powered. They do include that AC power adapter. And then we have the Pro versions of these. So the main difference between the 50 and 90 and the 50 and 90 Pro, when it comes to the BE models, is the Pro has support for 6 gigahertz. So it is still dual radio, but it's what we call band flex. So one radio is dedicated to 2.4, and the other radio is selectable to operate either at 5 gigahertz or 6 gigahertz. And it's the same general look here with one 2.5 gig uplink port that can be powered via PoE, and also a DC barrel plug for AC power to be plugged into it. All four models here use our traditional Zycel multi-mounting bracket. So this is a bracket which the AP can slide into and snaps in place. And the bracket itself has been designed so you can mount it on a wall, mount it on a ceiling. It's got screw holes pre-fit in there that are going to fit both an outlet box and a junction box, both round and rectangular. And in addition, if you buy our optional T-bar kit, we sell clips that will snap onto a T-bar that holds up your drop ceiling, and then this connects directly to those. So, and of course, these are Nebula Flex. So this means these are Nebula manageable. So you can manage them standalone. They have a web interface you can interface with, or you can use them with our Nebula Cloud, which is, what the stats are saying most of you are using anyway. But for those of you that aren't familiar with it, Nebula is our free cloud management platform. It offers you a single pane of glass that lets you manage access points, our switches, our security firewall gateways, our LTE router, and soon our WISP point to multipoint solutions. So just go to nebula.zycel.com, log in, and you can manage all of your devices, all of your customers, all of their sites through Nebula for free. So these access points are Wi-Fi 7, and one of the cool features with Wi-Fi 7 that all of these access points support is what's called MLO. So it's the ability to connect to multiple radios at the same time. And we have expanded that functionality not just to client devices, but also to creating our smart mesh technology. So if you need to expand out your wireless network and you don't want to run Cat5, you can do wireless mesh from access point to access point, and it will automatically mesh on both radios simultaneously, giving you faster aggregated throughput, but also giving you much more reliability on the connection, because if one radio is experiencing overload or interference, the data can still be sent over the other radio. So as I mentioned, the Pro models are what we call band flex. So they support 5 or 6 gigahertz on that second radio. So we get a lot of questions is, why would I want to do that? And the answer is that 6 gigahertz is something new, right? It got added towards the end of 6 gigahertz with 6E and then was fully embraced with Wi-Fi 7. Now it is optional, but 6 gigahertz gives you a massive amount of spectrum that's available for unlicensed use. So with 6 gigahertz here in North America, it has more bandwidth than 2.4 and 5 gigahertz combined. So I'm sure you can easily see here why you would want to use 6 gigahertz. More bandwidth available, faster speeds, less interference. You can have more devices or more access points in an area before they start stepping on each other's toes. The downside of 6 gigahertz is that a lot of products today still don't support 6 gigahertz. Um, it's something that you generally find support on your flagship phones, but anything that's not a flagship phone that tends not to have it. A lot of laptops, a lot of tablets still don't support 6 gigahertz. So for that reason, you may not have the need to support 6 gigahertz today, but want that ability to offer it in the future when more devices support it and 6 gigahertz support is, more standard out there. So it lets you deploy today, support your existing clients that can support 5 gigahertz today. And then once enough products are out there that are supporting 6 gigahertz, you flip a switch, and now you've got all the benefits of 6 gigahertz for those devices. So it's a way of saving you some money, right? Instead of buying a tri-radio access point, which supports 2.4, 5, and 6 at the same time, it saves you some money. You're paying for one less set of antennas. Don't have to pay for the heavy-duty CPU that can process 3 radios at the same time, and some of the other expenses that go into supporting simultaneous 3 radio use. And then just to hit here again, this is Nebula supported, so it does work with our Nebula mobile app for some basic configuration and for keeping an eye on your networks. So here's our summary, and this is really the conclusion of today's webinar. So if you have any questions, do start sending those in. It's just showing you a comparison here between the new 50 and 90 series and our existing 130 and 110. So let's talk about the main differences here between the 50 and the 90. And it's going to come down to software features. So the 50 series does not support a captive portal. It does not support layer 2 isolation. It does not support WPA enterprise. It does not support 802.1x authentication. And it doesn't support Facebook login. So those features are available on the 90 series. And then jumping up to the NWA 110, this guy here on surface looks very similar to the NWA 90, but this is going to be sort of our full true business class access point. So it comes with a lifetime warranty where the 50 and 90 series come with a 2-year warranty. It also unlocks some additional business-oriented features that the 50 and 90 don't support. As we already talked about, the 50 doesn't support captive portal, 802.1x authentication, etc., while the 90s do. The NWA 110 also unlocks some additional business class features, such as the ability to do load balancing between access points, support for our Wi-Fi health and Wi-Fi aid features in Nebula, the ability to do broadcast storm control, traffic shaping, data tunneling, etc. So if you're looking for a true business class access point and enterprise type customer, NWA 110 is the way to go. But if you need something a little bit lighter weight for that sort of SOHO office or a home user, the 50 or the 90 series are absolutely affordable, inexpensive options that you can offer for them. And with that, that ends today's webinar. That is my last slide. Let me see if there's any questions that have come in. There have not. I'll stick around here for a minute in case you're typing something up, but I do appreciate you coming in. We do have another webinar coming up on Thursday. Let me see what Thursday's webinar is. So Thursday's webinar is a introduction to Nebula. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about Nebula, Thursday's webinar is the place to do that. No questions have come in, so I'm going to go ahead and end today's webinar. Oh, whoops, we've got something that's come in. David is asking about costs. So these will be sold through our normal distribution channel. So, your exact cost will be available for there. But all three of these have a street price, or excuse me, all four of these have a street price of under $100. Um, so very affordable, low cost access points for Wi-Fi 7. I want to say the 50 BE has a street price of $79.99, with the 90 BE Pro at $99.99. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end today's webinar. Thank you for joining us. I hope to see you at one of our future webinars. Thank you.